let me be clear. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. believes that vaccines are hurting our children. He tells you that. He says, when I go on a hiking trail or a running trail and I see a parent holding a child, this is his words. I go up to that parent and I say, don't vaccinate this child. And when I say that, I feel I have saved that child. He's a believer. He's a zealot. It's like, for let's say, for example, I believe that there was an environmental toxin that was hurting our children or killing our children. And then you made me the head of the Environmental Protection Agency. I can promise you, I would do everything I could to get that toxin out of there or find a way to lessen its impact or neutralize it. That's how he feels about vaccines. It's what he's been saying for the last 20 years. So when he says, I'm not anti-vaccine, I'm not going to ban vaccines, don't believe him. I think what he could do a lot of things. For example, I'm on the FDA's Vaccine Advisory Committee. If we recommend authorization or licensure for a vaccine and the FDA accepts it, he could say, I don't think it's been studied enough. He could say the same thing if the CDC recommends a vaccine. He could say the Vaccine for Children's program, which funds about 50 to 55% of all vaccines in this country, that's given mainly to children who are uninsured or underinsured. He could it's a federal program, it's a congressional program, but he could say, look, this state can't get that vaccine until they remove their school vaccine mandates. Or he could take a vaccine or two out of the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program and just let it suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous civil litigation, which is where we were in the early 80s when we went from 18 companies that made vaccines to 4 companies that made vaccines within a period of about 10 years, because it wasn't worth it for these companies to stay in the vaccine business. Realize vaccines are a fragile market. They're not something you give every day. They're something you give just a few times in your lifetime. They're never going to compete with, products like lipid-lowering agents, diabetes drugs, psychological drugs, lifestyle products. Drugs that you take every day, they can easily be jettisoned by these companies. And I don't think people realize how fragile this is.